Look. See this one going right through here? Look at this one right here. What in the hell is going on with the light? Like, what the hell? Okay, that's just another weird thing. So, I don't know. That's weird. And there, is this like Amy had sent me some pictures because the sun was coming through her shade and it was like tubes. I was like, what in the hell? I don't even know. Everything is weird. I was just thinking, oh my God, do I have a gray outline going around me? Like, I don't know. Can you guys see the energy around me? Like it looks fuzzy. Oh no, I feel like a ghost. And I'm freezing to death. A freezing to death ghost. If I go out into the sun, it's kind of warm. But I'm having a day. Oh, I'm having such a day. I am trying as hard as I fucking can not to just stress the fuck out. So, and there's a lot going on. I know it's like energetic and stuff. But so I called to make my last payment. And so I made it. And of course, it was more than I thought it was going to be. So it just like hit hard. So I got it paid. And I have my ride set up. And that's for Tuesday. And for all this time, I've been getting everything ready. I've been cooking, just making everything so I have everything real easy. And so I have been working on that. And then I have to still do some more stuff. Like I have to wash all my sheets and all that stuff. You want me to have clean bedding and all that. So anyways, there's more to do. So, but as soon, I am not even shitting. And I knew I was going to be tested as soon as, you know, that happened. But so I paid the payment and got that situated. And then I'm like, oh, celebrate. I'm so excited. And Stella was harassing me to go for a walk. So I got up, started doing all that, because I have to put on a whole outfit on top of my outfit. I felt like a snowsuit on. I'm really fucking cold. And so then, right when I do, so I go walking out the door, and Stella is standing there, like she's kind of focused on me. I don't know that she noticed these guys, but so there's a car parked at the end of my driveway. And they're just sitting there staring. And so I walked down the porch and I saw him and I like looked for a second and the guy got out of the passenger side and stood up and stared back at me. And I just turned around and walked back in the door. And he sat back down inside his car and they sat there for a few minutes and then they drove off. And so, it was stressing me out. I kept thinking, okay, was that the same guy as the other time when I was out cutting the branches and they just sat there in the street watching me? And then I walked into the garage. I walked into the in my driveway. I think I shut the gate. And then they pulled up, same thing, pulled in. And then he got out of the car and said, are you Kelly Hart? And I said, no. And he said, you're not Kelly Hart? And I said, no. And he goes, I don't remember what he said then. And I just walked off. And I was thinking, I bet you that was the same guy. I bet, and he was on the passenger side again. And, which, you know, that was way before the house, like it would have been right when it was very first starting. I don't know, bug. Because I was cutting the branches. The branches have been down all winter. So, I'm not sure. But all this shit is so shady, man. Like, they could have already had set their sights on my house. Like, I don't fucking know. I mean, the bad guys, you know, are the ones that have the power so far. I mean, shit is gonna turn. But before that, though, even, It was while right after I finished. First, I got a text that came in from my car insurance company that said they want me to pay $345 on Monday, and it's Tuesday surgery. So they wanted me to pay $345 on Monday. And so I just ignored that because I was trying to get on my mom's insurance because this one keeps jacking up the price. Then she messages me and says something, and then she starts talking about the insurance. And so I'm just talking about how shady the insurance is and all this stuff. And then she starts saying, well, you're going to have it. It's like, the whole thing, it just was so 3D. Well, you got to follow the rules. You got to do what you're told. You got to, they're going to make you and all this stuff. And it's just like very stressful. And so then I'm just like, okay, well, so get out of that one, finish that conversation, then get up and then go. And then these guys are at the end of the driveway. My heart was pounding so hard that I couldn't go out and go for a walk. I was like, fuck, I don't know. Is it, what the hell? And it's hard when you are going and speaking online about things they don't want you to talk about when they already, control everything that I mean, they're constantly controlling my videos and shit. And so then to have somebody pull up, it feels like harassment or stalking or something. And then if it's a house, well, why haven't they sent me a letter? Why don't they send me a letter and say, hey, we bought your house. Want to see if we could talk to you. I see you're living there. What can let's make a deal or something. I mean, to just be stalkery like this. And so, anyways, I came in, sat here, had a heart attack. Still was trying to get me to go back out and walk her. And she finally fell asleep. So we sat here for a little while. Then as soon as she woke up, she was like, come on now, it's time. So that's one thing, is that her and I push each other to do things that we don't want to do. But so she pushed me to go out for a walk, which is the weirdest walk. She keeps us going in circles. Like she just keeps going around the same kind of circle, sniffing everything. It's like, this is so wacky. And so then I come back in, and what was that? I was like, so then right away, I had the car thing, the broken car, possibly being evicted, and car insurance problems, all at the exact same time, which I knew that would happen because, if you choose you, because the 3D wants you to choose all that other stuff, so you can never choose you. Because then you choose the car. Well, then the car's got to get fixed. Well, then you got to get the insurance. Well, then you got to pay the thing for the house. Well, then you got to do. So you are always the one who's missing out. So I knew me choosing me was going to set them all, like it was going to spin out. And so, it's spinning out and stressing me the fuck out. And I keep on, just trying to talk myself down. And one thing is like, anytime I ask my guys anything about it, all I get is trust. I was like, motherfuck. So I keep being like, okay, I know everything's gonna work out fine. No matter what happens, it's gonna be fine. No matter what happens, it's gonna be fine. And I know that's true. It's just like all the fucking shit that you gotta fucking deal with. It's always fucking hassle. And so it's like, God damn, Kelly, what the hell do you put yourself through? And so then I had, the neighbor was talking to me about something. And so I'm sitting there after all this drama, and my heart's still pounding. And then so she starts talking to me about, because she's fostering these little puppies, and she took them in to be checked, and they had one flea. Like they're fucking bitching about a goddamn flea on the foster puppies instead of just appreciating, like, she's taking these dogs in. Like, the amount of fucking dogs out there right now is so fucking absurd. It is, I mean, our fucking world is blowing the fuck up. Like, it's fucking absurd, man. And there's especially some places that are just so overloaded. And I'll tell you another motherfucking crazy thing is this woman's story who is on TikTok, and she's telling this story, and she has two mastiffs. She has two French mastiffs, and her and her husband were trying to move on to a different piece of property where they had more space. And so they had their dogs staying at their grandparents' house, and somebody came in and took them. And so it took them a long time, and they were going through all these different places, and they kept getting told that it was some kind of humane society. They just came into their backyard and took their dogs. And so then they were trying to find them, and it was this huge, oh my God, the bullshit, this poor lady. And so then she, through her TikToks and stuff, then somehow she got connected with people, and then they seemed like legit people, and they work for whatever county it is. One of them is the Humane Society, and one of them is the Animal Shelter or something. So they're two different organizations, kind of like with the same name. And one of them had gotten her dogs and then had given them to one of these adoption places, like these rescue places. So they went to a rescue place to wait for adoption, which she doesn't know if they've been adopted, and they're telling her there's nothing she can do about it. Like, this is so fucking shady. And those dogs cost a lot of fucking money. And so, to me, that is suspect right there. You know, if they're taking expensive dogs and then selling them or something, like, I don't know. So go and take these people's dogs, and they didn't take their little dog. See, they had a third dog. Didn't take that one. Just took the two big mastiffs. And then, so she's still trying to fight them and stuff, but it's like so fucking shady. Like, are overrun with motherfucking, especially in Southern California. You're overrun with motherfucking dogs. And then you're going to just go in someone's backyard and just take their fucking dogs? Like, are you fucking kidding me? The stuff right now is so fucking jacked. I swear to God. I can see why people just get like, fuck. Just want to go out and fucking fuck something up. It's like, fuck. And all that goddamn, all the people, the rescuers for all the, trying to help the dogs, all they do is ask for money, ask for money, ask for money, ask for money, all fucking day long. Like, everybody, and then put their little sad dogs, and they're about to be killed. And it's like, Jesus Christ. It's fucking Sally Struthers back in the fucking day on there, constantly pulling up. When I was a kid, all day long, all they did was show us these little kids in Africa, and they were skinny as hell. They had big bloated bellies, and they always had like white stuff around their face. I think like yeast or something. Always had flies all over them. It was like, oh my God, the manipulation they fucking do. But then how it turns like, that's the same fucking shit. It's like the same energy just keeps going. People just keep doing it. Like, here, you guys, I'm so stressed, but here, all of you got to stress with me. You guys are all going to kill these animals. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's so fucking intense. It's like, I can't even tell you how many papers I've started filling out to do the fostering. When I looked up about the adoption thing, it's like $600 or $800. And then all day long, they've got these animals that are just like found on the side of the road, all fucking just jacked up, and that they need surgery. Somebody's got to pay for the surgery. Come on, people, pay for the surgery. It's like, Jesus Christ. I really got myself in it when you watch one goddamn animal video, just like, fuck, man. And then, I did see a woman who is one of these rescue people, and she was at one of the shelters, and she was bawling, especially they had put some dog, I don't know, bad stuff or something, and she was bawling. She's like, this isn't working. This isn't right. What's going on? This isn't right. Because it literally is imprisoning these dogs awaiting their death sentence. No fucking freedom. It's like, and what gets me is there is other places where The dogs run free. There is other countries where the dogs run free. And yeah, some are gonna get hit and stuff. But when we all like, I don't know. I mean, you can't sit here and say like when we all come together as a community and, set out food for the dogs or cats or whatever. But then you have, these people, as now these people doing videos all day of going through these rural areas where people just have the dogs out tied up all day, all night. This one person said this dog has been tied in this yard 11 fucking years. No human contact, nothing. I just can't even understand the inhumane treatment. Oh yeah, and now Colorado is going after fucking Cody. So, that guy in there, I don't know. That guy is gonna, you can't get away with a crime like that. You can't just do shitty things and get away with that. And right now, everything is gonna be shown and revealed. Like, so you can't go and do horrendous things like that and think that nobody's gonna find out. Like, I wouldn't surprise me if he ends up like having the same kind of ending by somebody else, Um, because there's so much tension about him. Um, just as so like a heartless attitude, he's like a psychopath. Um, no empathy. But oh, then when my neighbor came in, and she was texting me like about the puppies, and she said, she's doing this whole thing, spraying the house, and she has these doors, all this stuff. And so she says something. So if you see somebody around, and I said, I had some people at the end of my driveway earlier. And so I started telling her what was going on down there. And she said, oh, well, I think your foreclosure's already gone through. It's probably the people who bought your house. And I said, well, I don't know if it's gone through. Like, I haven't gotten any kind of notification or anything. And so she said, well, it shows on the website that it's gone through. So I would assume that it's somebody coming to, size it up and check it out. She said, if I was you, I'd just start selling everything. I'd sell everything. And she said, I would buy some stuff, but I would sell everything. I wouldn't leave anything there and just leave the one house like here. She said, I think you can sell the gazebo thing. You can sell your other outbuilding, sell everything. And she said, I bet they're going to do something fast to try and make it so you can't do all that. It's like, another thing too, it seems like, well, why don't I have rights as a squatter? I thought squatters had all the rights. Like, it's impossible to get a squatter out of your house. And, but anyway, so then she was like messaging me, and I was like, and that's the thing is like when you're talking to all people in 3D, everything is so 3D. It's all about this world, this life, But she had said that I was saying I should just put some fucking wheels on that other shed out there and just call it a tiny house and take off. And so she's like, oh, I would love to do that. She said, I've been looking at all these little vans and stuff on, I don't know if it's Craigslist or Marketplace or something. And she sent me one and she goes, oh, I could totally see you and Stella just out going around, traveling around, a little thing like that. And I was like, yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. And, take whatever money and go buy a van or a bus or something. The one she sent me was kind of cool. It was just like it was like an ambulance that somebody had turned into a little camper. So while you were driving, you would look like you were in an ambulance. It didn't have a siren anymore, but it was still painted like one. But inside, it still had a bed and a place to sleep and cook and stuff, which, that's all you really need is a car that gets you around. And so then, all that stress. So then I think it's Indonesia, a volcano just went off and is spewing out a bunch of gases and sulfur and stuff, which the geologist I knew over here said that was more serious than the ones that just shoot out the other stuff, flames or whatever, I don't know. Because she was telling me about this one, Mount Baker, which, Well, I got the t-shirt. That's why I'm sitting there. Like, well, I may not have my house anymore, but I got the t-shirt. So anyways, the Mount Baker, if it goes, that she said that it's going to spew out gases and stuff, and it's really dangerous, the gases and stuff, and that's what kills the people or something. So they've evacuated all of the Indonesia one, and they said they think it's going to start affecting the other islands, which, I mean, everything's rock and rolling. Dubai is getting hit hard. There's a guy who is saying that in this contactee with the Galactic Federation and all this stuff or something, he's saying it was the anomaly in the water was like a Godzilla kind of creature that was Anki made it all the way back for the Anunnaki, and it has something to do with fighting the gods, and it's all the way fucking time back from Atlantis, and it just had come out when this ice thing had split off, because I had said that big chunk of ice, I said that like a month ago or something, that big chunk of ice had come off of the thing and was loose, and then there's been other weird things. But then that big anomaly thing coming out, which I kept thinking it has to be some kind of ship or something. It has to be something with disclosure. But he's saying, so the Galactic Federation or something zapped it up and have it up or holding it in like a cage up above us inside of a mothership or something. And that they're going to move it to a different area. But so it's not going to keep going. But Africa definitely got hit in Dubai, but then there's a whole thing about Dubai had just started with the clouds seeding, so all that stuff. But their storm, like if you've seen the footage of that, even the night before where it was starting, it is eerie, so ominous. Oh my God, it's so creepy. And then they're so flooded and stuff. It was so crazy too. There was even a guy who was showing footage of the hail started. And he's like, oh, there's stones flying out of the sky at us. And then he's like, oh, wait a minute, it's ice. There's there's ice flying out of the, he'd never even seen hail. I don't even know if they knew what it was. He was like, it's ice. They thought it was stones at first. I was like, oh, that's on the daily here practically. Oh, today it has been so weird. Like it's been all over the place with the weather. So I don't know. I think they're trying to merge two systems always and create a bigger storm, which now they've put the date on for the red heifers is supposedly Monday. Tuesday I gotta be in Seattle. Monday is like, and I don't know. There's tornado. There's all sorts of stuff going over in the East Coast on the one side of the Mississippi, because now to me there is the two sides of the Mississippi is because of the map. Like the one side of the Mississippi is like its own thing and having its storms, so it's gonna have its own thing. Over here we're gonna have our own thing. But so all of those ones from like the Midwest over, but then there's going to be a huge bite out of the West Coast. But I had just seen a guy in Spokane. So he's in Spokane because that is where my mom, my youngest daughter, my second youngest daughter, my two oldest daughters are in another part of Washington because they're in Yakima. So they're down at the border by Oregon. The other ones are over at the border by Idaho, and I'm over by the border by Canada and the water. And so the guy who was in Spokane, because that's where I would be heading, because that's where, I was thinking I'll put my stuff at my mom's or something, and so I would be going over there. Whatever goes down, I guess. And then, so what he said, he went to go pick somebody up. He was a tow truck driver, I think. And he went to go pick somebody up. He started having this conversation about something. I can't even explain it right. I don't even know. I couldn't even understand all the stuff he was saying, but he seemed to understand. And he is somebody who's like me. He said, I've been telling you motherfuckers that this is about to go down. And all I get is bullshit, and nobody fucking listens to me. Hold on. So he said that, you know, he was like irritated because, you know, any of us who have spoken the truth, we find a lot of arguing. And so he was saying that. But so this guy who he was talking about, I'll just share the video in here so you can read it, listen to it yourself for more accuracy. But it's something about these things, and something about EMPs, something about nukes, something about all this stuff, and a black swan in Washington State, and how they've put these things everywhere. And he said that it's kind of like so they would be able to tell who is who's got certain waste products on them. Something is how I was taken. I'm not sure, you know. But then I was like, so is it Washington State going to be one of the ones where they're going to just blow it the fuck up? And then there was nothing I needed to worry about anyways. Like, you know, all this worry is for nothing. Maybe I won't make it to the surgery. I'm just going to blow the fuck up. So I don't fucking know. You know, all I want to do is get to goddamn surgery. You know, fucking complete something. I swear to God, I feel like there's so much of my life where it's never, like, I never get to complete something. And, you know, and I know it doesn't make sense in 3D world, you know, to go and spend money so frivolously on your own health, but and not do all of the things like the 3D requirements. So, I don't know. It does seem like to me I shouldn't, and I said, well, I don't think I should start selling anything until I see how it plays out. And she's like, well, they can hurry, they can make you go fast. I don't know all the laws and stuff. And it's like, fuck. Stress, pressure. And that's where you gotta like pull yourself back in. Okay, what do you want to do? And like I haven't started packing or anything. And so yeah, I don't know. It seems like to me, like, yeah, I just gotta go with the flow. Like, fuck, I can sit here and come up with a fucking bunch of different plans that I still don't know what's going on. Like, I mean, you're just gonna pull up at the end of the driveway and just stare at me? You can't fucking send me a letter and say, hey, we bought your house. And then, you know, I've had tons and tons. I would still get emails about the house. It's like, I don't know. I feel like there's so much shadiness about the whole system with the banking and stuff, like, you know what I mean? And what was it? It was something else that I had just seen something, was it Trump or something? But there is people who are starting to say, like, why isn't there more going on about I mean, we're supposed to have this is a big election year and there's nothing. And that's what I kept thinking too. It's like, it's funny because usually isn't an election, it's just nonstop. If you have mailers in your thing, one commercial after another, it's just fucking overwhelming. I know I don't have any commercials. Maybe there is a bunch of commercials on TV. But anyways, it seems like there would be more, a lot more stuff. Like a lot more debate, a lot more stuff. But it's like none of that's going on, because I think it's a clear indicator that, you know, this is the exposing time. This is the end of this bullshit. And that something about the Republic and the money, and because it won't be just the money, it will be land and everything. So I know there's nothing to worry about. Like, I know our birthright is to have the things we need, and we don't need to stress about it. Like, if we're losing the things that are being taken, it's being taken by the old world, you know, that old energy. Like, even if these guys who, you know, push me out of the house if that's how it occurs. And then they take it, oh, it'll probably, something bad will happen. Yeah, I won't be where they would have, you know, oh, look, it's such a successful Airbnb now that they've created. No, it'll be something like, fuck, something bad will happen. I mean, just assume if you're doing some shitty shit that bad things are going to happen. And it's definitely these LLCs and shit are the ones that are doing this stuff with the houses. Nobody else can even get loans. It's just the fucking bankers in there. It's like uh, they're all like a part of the same shifty kind of situation. Like the LLCs and the developers and stuff just work hand in hand with the bankers, hand in hand with the realtors, hand in hand with the city councils, with the mayors, all of that stuff. We go and try and do shit? No. It's because they all scratch each other's backs. So yeah, they get away with stuff. They get pushed through things and stuff. So it's like what goes around comes around. So I'm not going to stress about that. Of course, it's stressful of like, fuck, you know, they're going to come now, serve me tomorrow and say, you're going to be out of here in 24 hours or some bullshit. Like, who knows? I mean, they're going to try and get the shady cops to be involved. And then, I don't know, like, I just have no idea. Like I said, I've got to keep trying to not stress out about what if. I swear to God, when I was a kid, I drove my mom crazy because I was always like, well, what if this? What if this? What if this? I can create a lot of what ifs, I'll tell you that. So, anyways, I'm trying to keep myself calm and keep reminding myself, no, everything is turning. Nothing is what it seems. Everything is fine. Don't stress out. Whatever you lose will be replaced. Like all of those kinds of things, you know. Way more stuff with stuff in the skies. The Dubai thing, their sky was green. And then over there, so on the other side of the Mississippi, they've got tornadoes and shit going. They may be starting from Texas and heading across. Then there's some weird shit going on, something with Arizona and the immigration situation, where it is, to me, it's exposing, you know, the corruption that is involved in the whole scheme, because the schemes have people who are involved. Like, there's fucking mayors, like, there's people involved in all this shady shit. That's why I keep saying there's people who you think of as being super successful who are doing really good, and it's going to come out they were doing really good in the dark. They're really good for shady. And they're really good if you want dirty money. So, you know, that is, it's just a part of what is going to play out. But that is going to play out. And let me think. I keep seeing just, I don't know, I'm on some weird algorithm thing on, but there was some stuff that I had seen. So the guy saying about that star that's going to be exploding in the sky, and that's supposed to be in a few weeks. The red heifers now have a date. There's somebody saying the 23rd, of course, the day of my surgery. The world's going to end. There's, I don't know, somebody's saying Kim Jong-un now has had a stroke and they're hiding it and shit about that. We got Godzilla up above us in a mothership. Like there's so much. And the thing is too, is like, no matter how crazy shit sounds, it's probably real. Probably right. Like, that's the thing you got to wrap your head around. This world is nothing like what you thought. What they told you to keep you in line is way different than what it is. Like, we probably have Godzilla up in a mothership above us. Like, and he's pissed. He wants down here and he wants to wreak havoc and crush us all under his little fat feet. So, or maybe blow smoke out his nose at us. Who knows? Like, this is, I swear you got to kind of get into your storybook, into your mind and this thing, you know. And it's hard when things are going like south. And I'm really trying to just focus on how excited I am. I was like so excited. Everything was going so good. And then even going up to make the final payment, you know, it was like ever since this morning when Stella woke me up, she was just having a bitch fit and woke me up and like, I don't know, 2:30 or 3 or something. And so then as soon as I'm awake, I'm like, oh, my bank. Oh, well, that money won't go in yet. It won't go in until like 4 or 5 or something. So I checked, and then once it was in, then I was like, okay, it's there. But then you keep hearing these things like people saying like there's people just taking money right out of their bank. There's this woman, this one's pretty funny because this woman, she went to Verizon or something, and she bought like 2 phones and 2 watches or something. And then whatever went down, she was like, fuck it, and didn't, I don't know if she kept the stuff and didn't take it back or didn't finish the contract or whatever the hell happened. But so they send her a letter. Um, it was, I saw this a couple days ago, and so they had just sent it to her and said that they were withdrawing the money out of her account, I think on the 20th, or like there's a lot that's about to, a lot of dates that keep being told, but I think it was the 20th. They were going to withdraw all the money for what they say she owes them, but what they're saying she owes them is like 4,186,000. Like it's huge. She showed the thing. They're telling her she owes like in the millions for this fucking stuff, and they're going to take it directly out of her account. And then I've seen other people saying like the IRS, that they went in to go look into their account. Stella, stop, knock it off. That they went to go check their account, and that it said that the IRS had taken all their money out and they still owed, you know, another couple billion or something. Like, I keep hearing the most absurd stuff. So I was like, man, I just want to hurry up and pay this so nobody can come and rob my money out of my bank before I pay this. And then, of course, and I kept hearing in my head that, because I had it exactly the right amount, you know. And then I kept hearing, it's going to be more, it's going to be more, it's going to be like tax or something, there's going to be something. And then when she said the more, I was like, what? I thought, and then, so I don't know, I had said, I thought it was just 4,400. And then she's like, no, it's 4,480. Like, oh my God, okay. Like, I'm already going without it. It's fine, let's do this. So anyways, now it is it's so close, so close, but we have the world blowing up in front. It's like, oh, it's kind of a big jump, but it's so close. This is rough, man. But I'm sure that how it's going to end up being is I'm going to be so fucking glad that I scooted it all up, because I think for how intense it's getting right now, it's fucking just going to be going more. Like, if I was trying to wait this out until May, like, this is, to me, a really strong indicator is like, fuck, I'm glad I moved this up. Because right now, it's like, fuck, I wish it was today. God damn, shit is going crazy. And, man, there's something, I swear there was something I saw about Trump. And so, there's more, of course, with Joe, because they're going to be trying to take him down and, make, you know, the whole thing's got to go together. And the money, the Wall Street, we got the fucking SJWs just blocking roads off and destroying their own communities for a war with the government and another country. Like, it's absolute, that's malarkey. Like, it's crazy what's going on, and people just are so driven by their passions and their fears that they don't think things through. They just don't care. And then they get so caught up, which I just saw somebody saying that they're really focusing the strip battle to really pull at the heartstrings of the women. And man, when I see this stuff with the dogs and shit, like, they are definitely doing stuff to really suck our emotions dry. You know, there's so much going on, and we are the emotional creatures. And so it does definitely seem like we're under attack. But this is the divine feminine's time. So this is, you know, we're under attack, but we win. We're going to, you know, come out as the phoenix rising. It's just that we've got, to me, it's like we're getting stomped on, but it is showing us all of the problems. Like, if you're paying attention, I know there's still some women who are just really, but it's going to keep going because everybody's going to get to see. And so whatever it is they're in denial about, things will keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they start seeing better. And, and I think I may have said something about this before, but this is like the energy, I swear, of what we have going is like, this one person had said, like, if you were going to get lost in the forest, then would you rather be lost with a man or in the forest with a bear? And all these women were saying with a bear. No way would I want to be with a man. Men are so violent and scary and all this stuff. And they thought they would have a better chance with the bear. It's like, what? What? Isn't there any man? Like, don't you have a brother that you get along with or something? Don't you have any relationship with any man that you trust at all? Like I know lots of men that seem like, they're not all going to go out and murder us and beat us to death. But but all these women feel so divided from the men, and they know that was all done on purpose. But it's like that they just continue that push. No, I'd rather be with the bear. No, I'd rather. It's like I would 100% choose a man. Like, not only could a man be I'm picturing Naked and Afraid, and you have the two people and all the work that the men always do on that, but fucking going and make a shelter, doing this and doing that, and the woman's always like kind of helping. Here, I'll drag this, like, excuse me, you see I'm doing this. Ugh. Gosh, she's a drama queen. Oh, God, see how intense it is? The dog next door. God, it's intense. It's got to be feeling intense for other people. It's got to be the energy. The Schumann thing is going crazy, where there is somebody saying the Schumann is not the earth. It's our energy. It's our energy going crazy, which, fuck, I believe it. And it's even the dog. It's everything. The dogs, everything. Fuck, maybe we're about to have a fucking volcano at Mount Baker. Maybe fucking, I don't understand these fucking light tube things. God, you can't even look up at the sun. It's so fucking bright. So, okay, where was I? Oh, look, it's intense. So, see when you interrupt me, what happens? She don't give a shit. She's like, it's all about me. I have needs. Like, I don't know. It starts in the fucking middle of the night. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. So, anyways, I don't know. Shit's going on. A lot of shit's going on. And, I was going to keep being a lot of shit going on. And who knows, what's next? Like, I can't. I feel like I'm going to get my surgery. I feel like I'm going to get there and get it. I don't know what'll go down, on the house thing or the car thing. Because even if I go to try and take my car in right now, I'm all suspicious. The Ziply guy, I guess I'm getting my thing tomorrow because the Comcast was some bullshit. And I remember Trump saying something about that too. And so then I decided to switch over to Ziply. Well, now they're having to put in a whole wire or something because they were supposed to come tomorrow. So they keep going around and going around. So there's all that action going, which that was another thing, just all of a sudden. I was like, I walk out there and I'm like, I thought you were coming tomorrow. And he goes, oh, yeah, but we have to go and put in the wire so he can do it tomorrow. There's no wire. And he's been going around, coming in and out, going around, driving around. Like, every time I think he's gone, he's less. Now, there's two guys out there. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. This is so weird. God, everything is intense. So anyways, I feel like going and getting the surgery, that once it gets done, I'm going to be fucking relieved. And, I mean, if it came down to it, like, I guess, I'll just lose all my stuff and just pack up my clothes. Oh, yeah, the car. Because I can't go and take the car in to go get it fixed when I can't pay to go and pick it up. That's rude. So I got to wait until my next check comes. And so then, but I could try and do the just charging it and driving with the hazard lights on too. Like, um, and then, just take Stella and all my dresses. I don't know. Like, everything is like, come on, universe. Like, make some good shit happen. Like, this is supposed to be the time when things flip and some good things start happening. It's like, but we're going to pull it to the very fucking, till all is lost. Because that's what it's got to be. All is lost. This is the bring you to your knees. This is the, it's you and God. It's between you and God now, and so, and then even in, trying to talk and communication, it still is just like total peace. No, trust, just trust. It's like, I'm trying. I know that is the thing, but it isn't like you can just hear, oh, trust. And you're like, oh, okay, no problem. No, we have emotions. We have all this shit going on. You have a challenge. So don't be thinking like, because it's hard, that you're doing it wrong. No, it's fucking challenging. It's a huge fucking challenge. And as I've known, things are going to go better and things are going to make an abrupt turn for a long time. And it keeps pulling tighter and tighter and tighter. And no matter how tight it pulls, I know it's going to flip the other direction. It's just I don't know what all has to go on. And but there seems like I keep on thinking there's something else about the republic or the money or something. There's some other thing that Trump has done again, and I'm not sure though because I can't see it clearly. But it seems like that there's some other thing going on to give more, confirmation that yes, it's going in this other direction. This other bullshit is the ending. It's for all the people who are asleep. They have to have an ending. There has to be this ending. But to not get caught up in the ending, you have to keep yourself pulled free from the three dimensionals. So you have to stay in observation. Where you're still detaching from this world, then yeah, you have parts that are still held on. Like, going to the doctor, having to drive on the freeways, having to get a ride with somebody, like all this stuff. I'm like, there's so many things right now. Oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh, so many things keep coming in my head. And then, we have fucking earthquakes and all the other shit too. So everything is just like intense and anything can happen at any time. And, I'm not trying to be like, oh, be scared. No, I'm trying to say be prepared so you're not scared because it takes everything in you to keep yourself calm. I just saw this girl, I think I saw her yesterday, and she has one of her kidneys is in her own. So there is a recipient out there. I know that there's a lot, but they still way too many of those things. They're not putting them in all these people. And so she has one, and she has been in the hospital 5 times this year. She's sick as fuck. And she keeps having so many parasites. She keeps trying to do these cleanses. And she said she's got fucking full-ass live worms coming out of her. And so she's in the hospital right now. And she had to go pee in the bathroom on the hat thing. And in the hat was something that looked like a bug that came out in her pee. And so she was putting it online. I was like, that looks like a bug to me. She tried to tell her doctor. Her doctor made like she was a complete imbecile, crazy person. Why are you even looking for fucking parasites? And then I was talking to Amy, who still works in the medical field, and she was saying that they're not allowed to talk about parasites. They're not allowed to even say or ask like what kind or whatever. And so, obviously there's some doctors that know like we're dumping fucking parasites. And then they try and tell this woman, I don't even know. Like, I would think it is almost like, because having other parts inside of you from somebody else, you have to take medicines to reduce your immune system. So yeah, I would think, yeah, you'd have some shit growing in you, for fuck's sakes you would. And then I just saw another woman. She has a big ass account. She goes, and I'm a large creator, so I went on to look to see. And so she has 345,000 followers on YouTube. No, I mean on TikTok. And she went to go get Botox, and this side of her face has done something weird. And so she was doing her thing without a filter. She said, this is very difficult to go on here and do this without a filter. So like one side of her face looked like regular, and then the other side just didn't look like it matched. It looked like, and she called it something. And she said that she talked to the girl who did the injections, who is, never has any problems. She's been having the same person for a long time. But she said she's had this, two people have this happen to them this week. So I wouldn't be going and getting any of that kind of shit right now. None of it. I wouldn't even be going and get my fucking hair colored. Like the amount of fucking hair color disasters I'm seeing, like everything is jacked up, man. Nothing is working right. It's way beyond Mercury retrograde. And this is like the endings. And she even called herself out and said like she's so mad at herself for being so caught up in such shallow shit. And now she's getting this to happen. And she doesn't know what's going to happen. She doesn't know what's going to happen with her face. And I didn't even go and say anything like, fuck, sister, you got fucking botulism in your face now, and it's fucking jacking up too. Because that's what I've been dealing with. And mine is fucking old. Like, mine was, fuck, I got those, I got Botox. Like, I was like in my mid 40s, I think. Mid to late 40s. Because I think I started being a nurse when I was 42. And then I got my brain injury when I was 49. And so in there, when I was doing really good and getting Botox, going to getting facials, going to get massages, going on vacations, everything was, to me, it seemed like, I was doing great. Except for I fucking hated my job. I hated my fucking life. I hated my relationships. Like, so I can see why everything had to change. I had to deal with a lot of things in my relationships. There's a lot of things in all of our relationships that we got to deal with that just go hidden. What was that one I saw earlier? Somebody saying something, and I was like, man, people just don't deal with stuff. Like, people really think like if they just, just ignore it, don't pay any attention, don't complain or anything. But really, in order to have healthy relationships, we've got to be honest and be more forthright and talk. And then plus it's super important is to be able to set boundaries, because that is what defines you, But back when I was younger, and I was, a victim to my own insecurity, I had no boundaries. And I swear to God, there's a sense of going around of like, it's kind of like, why are they pushing on me like this? Why are they trying to force me to do this? Like, especially if you're not somebody who tries to push on somebody else, then it's always like all these other people pushing on you. But that is this, the pattern play out thing. It's always got to be, the giver and the taker. I mean, and I'm not saying like, oh, I'm always a giver and they're always a take. No, it is this balancing. When you are out of balance, you pull in other people who are out of balance. And then you guys are trying to balance things that you aren't capable of doing because you can't even balance yourself. So you start trying to draw off the other person, control the other person, get them to do what you want. Because, you know, I'm sure there's other people, you know, I was with who really thought, well, I was a giver. Well, I mean, there was a couple. I was like, um, you know, towards the end of it, it's like, it was definitely quite clear that was taker, 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 taker. And that was where it was pushing my, now they're just right here by the window. That was really pushing my boundaries as an insecure person, you know, is like I couldn't stand up for myself. And always worrying about other people and what they need. And so it's important to get to the point because you can't be taking care of everybody else's needs. You have to learn how to take care of yourself. It's way too draining. And you can't fix anybody else. You can't heal them. You can't do anything. Everybody has to fix themselves. Everybody has to heal themselves. It's impossible. And even when you give people direction, you know, of like, oh, this is what I did, you can't do it for them. Everybody has to do it for themselves. Can you hear him out there? Stella can. And there's like a couple of vans. Oh my gosh, now they got one of those buckets. Got a bucket out by my house. Like, this is serious business. And then what's even crazier is all this. And then if I'm evicted here in a couple days, like, I don't even know. Everything is so fucking chaotic. I swear to God. And I seriously haven't packed anything. But I have not felt like I feel like the universe would be telling me, pack up, pack up. So, and I don't know, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm getting caught up in something that I'm not hearing. But Jesus Christ, all I do is talk to him all day long. So, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be so much shit that's going to go down. And, you know, even these LLC guys, when the banks fail and all this stuff starts going, like, they're not going to be able to run around and be owning like 20 houses. Like, it's kind of like this is flushing them. This whole fucking system is to flush these people. And so, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work out for them. It's still, me, I mean, I could still be sitting here for a couple months and take my time, you know, once I get healed, you know, and saved up some money, because this is all I mean, I dumped every cent I had into getting this surgery. And, but I gotta get my car fixed, and that's gonna be a lot. And then if I want to buy some kind of a van or something, so we could start traveling around. And then if I want, because there's no way I could sell this car, it's fucking so many problems. And it's just a trap that they get us all in. And then get a van, and then also to get a moving truck. It's like, fuck, there's a lot of shit, man. There's a lot of shit. I need some good things to start happening. So, anyways, I know they will. I know the good things are just around the corner, but fuck, it's like the bad things are just like, rah, 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 rah. But it's like it's those motherfucking Archons. That's what I blame it on. Fucking Archons. And I say that all the time. I've been getting so many fucking things. I forgot to put it on silence. So there's been like a whole bunch of notifications going. That also distracts me. Let me think if it was... I did make something good. I don't remember if I told you, but I had some beets. I got some beets, and so boil them, and then I peeled them. And I think it would have been good if after they were boiled, if you marinated them. So marinated them like I would, if I was gonna do it. I think like some Worcestershire, maybe a little balsamic, some smoke, and a bunch of spices, and get it really kind of meaty tasting. And then leave it marinated, and then fry it. Yeah, when I fried it, so I had cut it up and then I fried it and I had put some smoke on it. I was like, because it looked like little steaks sitting there frying. And so I was like, huh, it looks so much like steak. I should put some smoke. And it seems like they would taste kind of like a fancy kind of, not like I miss meat or something, like not like that. But I don't know, sometimes it's like, oh, you know, a pretend steak and a baked potato kind of thing, you know? And so, um, uh, but I fried it and it tasted, and then, in steak sauce, which you could make all kinds of sauces too. But anyways, I thought it was good. I did a little video and I was surprised how many people are like, oh, I love beets. I'm going to try this. I love beets. I'm going to try this. Like so many people. So I want to make sure and tell you guys, because if you love beets, and it is a really good alternative if you're trying to get away from meat, because it really does kind of, I mean, as somebody who's a meat eater would say, that's not the right texture at all. That's a totally different flavor. But you're going to have to, you know, like adapt some things. Like, yeah, not everything's going to taste like a dead animal as a living, growing plant. So, but you can make things get kind of like the kind of flavors or something with smoke flavor or something. Anyways, just a thought. And it's so distracting too. These guys just right here by the window, just working away. They probably think, what is that lady doing in there? Weirdo lady. Let me think. So, the food, the weird shit in the world. Now, Washington State is, I don't know, marked with this fucking event. The guy said he's here putting 500 machines. He said, he's never, the guy who was doing it, who was telling the conspiracy theorist guy, he was like, he's never seen anything like it. He's like, man, it was weird. And so, but is that also a slow leak to just get everybody on edge, to get us all talking? But I know that it's not just talk. I know we need to be paying attention. I know that shit is about to go down. And it is going to affect a lot of people. And it's going to be a huge collapse. And, you know, like, I was just thinking about like all these different events that keep happening, and it's really not. I don't. The one that seemed like it killed the most people was wasn't that like in Turkey? Was it the one in Turkey last year, that giant landslide thing? Where there was a lot of people that got killed in that. Like, I don't know. There could be a bunch of people getting killed in all these different things and they're just not saying. But I do know, like, that's the kind of things where there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to die and leave together. They'll all go, I don't know, up to a mothership and go home or something. Take Godzilla out for a walk or something. Who knows? This is so weird. Like, I thought for sure that anomaly was like a ship or something. I thought it could be a sea creature. I wouldn't be going in the sea. That's another thing, too. The sea creatures are fucking out. Like, there's no more hiding sea creatures. They're out fucking feeding. So, if you're going to go in the water, you're at your own risk. I swear to God. I've seen some crazy shit. There was one where somebody was doing footage of them, like, underwater. Like, they were scuba diving or something. Which my daughter just sent me these for her trip in Mexico. Them down there taking pictures under the water and stuff. And so this is a picture where it says it's like that, but then it looks like the Loch Ness Monster's going behind them. Like, so, as far as I'm concerned, the creatures are out. They're not hiding it anymore. And yeah, there's a giant one that, but the reason supposedly they took it up into a mothership was because it's not allowed to come here. Like, they really are trying to help us with all this crazy stuff, supposedly. And what was it? Because there was like another thing too. Was that the same video? Maybe that was the same video. But there's a lot of people saying a lot of stuff. Like, there's a lot of shit going on. And, a lot of people talking about a lot of stuff. So, all I can say is you got to keep being aware. Just paying attention and don't get scared. Even when it's scary, you just got to keep talking yourself out of it and keep being okay. But that is what it is in the 3D. That's what it, by appearances, seems to be. But, none of this is real. So, it's not really. Nothing is real. Like, it's an illusion. So, anyways, you just got to keep talking yourself through it, talking yourself down. I think that is a part of the mastery, is learning how to deal with your emotions, how to keep talking yourself off the ledge, and keep yourself, from losing your mind and freaking out. I've definitely been more snappy to Stella, but she's more snappy to me too. She's like, she's being so bitchy. But then we go out and walk and she just goes around in circles like there is some weird shit. Like, I don't understand. Why are we just going in this circle? We just did this. What are we doing? So, I don't know. All I can say is that, I don't know. I don't know when it's going to stop. I know it's got to be close to whatever's going to happen, but it can keep being like, I don't know, it can keep being all these dramatic things, maybe the money thing and the fucking, what's the other one I was going to say? The money thing and the, there's a lot of shit that could keep going. And it's got the people who are hanging on it all rattled. Like, they're all freaking out over these different things. Like the people who are all on the election, or the people who are all on these different things. They're all like, oh my God. Oh, I just bit my tongue. So it's like for their benefit, kind of, to wake them up or something. But so when all these things are going, it may not be the big giant wake up thing. It may not be the lights coming on. The lights coming on may be this giant event, like a sky event or a water event, like something really huge, like Washington State blowing up in a nuke. Who knows? But some really big event. Because a lot of people are really concerned about Dubai. Everybody's like, there's a lot of people paying attention, but there's a lot of people who aren't paying any attention. And so there's something that has to get there. It's got to snap them out of it. And I did hear something today that was some kind of confirmation where it was like, yeah, they're just slow and steady, just keep trying to wake people up. They know they can't push it too hard or go too abrupt. And that is the absurdity, why there's so much absurdity, and then why you don't get caught up in the absurdity, because the absurdity is there for their awakening. It's not really going to go down. It's really, just a way to try and get people's attention. And so, like I said, it could be that this stuff just keeps playing out, and then we still have this big event thing that happens, the black swan event or something. That's going to be the thing. But it may not be the crashing of the banks or something. Like, I don't know. That really threw me when Trump signed on to the BRICS nation. And so then it's like, fuck, I don't know. They're going to keep taking down Joe. They're going to keep exposing that. And then I had thought a while back, too. I thought, what if they did take it where, okay, so Trump's going to start the Republic. Well, he's already got the Republic. And so, because he's already in charge of it. And so if he, if he all of a sudden said, hey, we're going to start our own communities over here, everybody move over here, and we're all going to live here together, and we'll all be MAGAs together or something, how many people would go, fuck that, not going over? And there's a lot of people who don't trust him any more than they trust Joe. So I would be a big weeding out of people. I would think it is, the thing is that it would be what they would be trying to pull in is people who are not biased, not judgmental, who are open-minded, who can see the truth. Like, there'd be a reason, because the people who would follow and go would be people who had more awareness. And so I don't know if that's how they would like start getting communities, and then leave some of these people in some of these other communities that are falling apart so that they have to experience it. So, because they all have to break free from their biases. Like, you have to break your biases. You can't just pretend like you don't have them. You got to recognize them. This lady was saying, this is the cutest video. She has this little boy, this cutest little boy, his hair is just off-road, and she was talking to him, and he was out like on his little electric Jeep kind of car zipping around, you know, and so she was asking him something about how it was driving or something like that, and he comes pulling up, and he goes, yeah, it's good. I found myself a little white girl. The little girl waves, and so the woman shared this video. It was cute as could be, like, but I guess there was a lot of backlash. There was a lot of people who were like, you know, oh, so he noticed his color or something. It's like, are you guys retarded? Like, can you not see color? Are you colorblind? Because, yeah, we all come in different shades. The problem is, hold on, it was hurting. The problem isn't the recognition of colors. The problem is to be biased against somebody over their color, to judge them about their color without knowing them, when you just see the surface. I've been talking about this because it's in all forms. It's not just that is hurting. Hold on. I thought I could go by it. It was like, I could just keep talking through it, but it just gets worse. Hold on. So when you have a bias, then you are just looking at the person only for the color of their skin. You're not thinking of them as anything else but the color of their skin. That is biases. That is what they feed off of with the racism. That's where they created it, because they got people to be so shallow and so superficial. And I've talked about, Jesus Christ, my throat is being totally attacked. Hold on. God, this is ridiculous. Man, I don't know what the fuck. Feels like something down my throat. Well, I don't know. I don't think I can. I'll keep going. Fuck, it hurts. I wanted to say, hold on. Fuck. God. Yeah, that's just how intense everything feels right now. I swear to God. Fuck, that hurts. Fuck. Fucking hurts. I'm sweating. But because I wanted to say that it's something that I had always noticed for so long about, you know, like people starting to like me and not know anything about me. just like, you know, I don't know. There's way too much just that is based on superficial stuff that is surface. We aren't the surface. We aren't the color of our skin. We aren't the color of our hair. We aren't the color of our eyes. We aren't any of those things. Those things, I feel, are there to represent to you stuff that you need to heal. It isn't who we are. And so when you just look at somebody from the surface and all you want to do is judge them on what you see, that is biases, because what are you basing it on? You know, you'll find you're basing it on the color of shirt they wear. You know, if they have tattoos, if their teeth are jacked up, if they have enough hair, what they weigh. You know, there's so many different things. And then you look at them and you think, well, they're not a good person. Oh, well, a good person wouldn't have jacked up teeth, so obviously they're not a good person. So is you. You're the one who's got the biases. You're the one who's judgmental. You're the one who can't see past that. And that's why it has so much to do with like empathy and stuff, so that you have that feeling of, oh, they've got problems. They've got things going on. You know, how can I judge them? Like, you know, a girl whose teeth are all jacked up. You know, you have no idea what her childhood would have been like, you know, what she's gone through or anything, and what a kind and good person she could be. You know, to not have teeth, it could show like she lived in poverty. She never had a mom who took care of her. Like, there's so many different things, and that's where we got to be more empathetic. We got to look at people with love and compassion, not like, oh, well, I'm better than you. You're not good enough. Oh, I don't like the color of your skin. Oh, I don't like the way that your hair looks. Oh, well, you're too old and you're too fat and you're too skinny. And, you know, it's like, why do we do that when we don't even know the person in the underneath? That is why we've got to get to know the people on the inside. We've got to move past the shallow. Like I keep saying, you need to talk to people who you don't talk to normally, that you don't think you agree with, because then you find things that you do agree with and that you do have in common. And then it's good to learn about people and their story. Like, everybody has sad stories. Everybody came here to experience trauma, to see, like, what do you do with the trauma? How do you fix your life? You know, do you let the trauma take you down, or do you make the best of it? Do you take that trauma and whip it around and make it your bitch? And that is what people have got to learn. The trauma is giving you gifts and skills that you wouldn't have had without it. You're learning and growing and stuff. So that is the mastery. But like I said, to me, I felt like that there's going to be some kind of this separation, which it would make sense if it would be like Trump. But then there's another part where you would just have these dedicated people who just go, who maybe haven't done their healing. So I don't know, you know, how it's going to play out, really. Because everything is about the awakening. I know it's about getting people in safe places. I still think, because he had already done that one anyways. He had already said, well, we're starting a Freedom City. People started, they wanted people to start applying. And so there will be some of that. But I know that they also don't want just blind followers, just like, oh, wherever he goes, I'm going. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for each of us to become independent, sovereign beings, to be able to stand up for yourself, not just stand up for yourself, stand up for your beliefs, to be true to yourself, not have to go stand up to yourself. They're not expecting you to go like, God, take on a criminal or something, and the criminals are everywhere. Oh my God, it's doing it again. So Anyways, you know, hopefully get my drift, because there's some force that does not want me to speak or something. Doesn't want me to talk about this. It's like, fuck. So, but that is what people need to be working on, is your biases. You got to notice them. You got to see if you're looking at somebody in a shallow way, you're judging them and you don't know them in the inside, you don't know their story, you don't know anything about them, then it's all just judgment. And that is where we got to keep on, you know, reeling it back in and seeing and catching ourselves and being like, fuck, I don't even know them and I've got quite an opinion about them. Where we need to start surrendering our opinions about people that we don't know. Like, be like, well, maybe I'd like to get to know you. But that is where, you know, there will be this rebuilding, and, you know, people on the same vibe will come together and things will shift and start going another direction. But like, I can't tell you for sure, like, exactly how it's going to go. You just got to be ready for anything. And always keep in mind what is really going on here. That gives you direction. Because there's a lot of people going the wrong direction. And like, I've had people all the time telling me, oh, well, it's just a matter of time. I mean, pretty soon we're all going to be locked down in 15-minute cities. We're going to be in FEMA camps. We're going to be all this stuff. It's like, no, that is not what I believe at all. This is, you know, the show of where we were headed, where we were going. And this is to show us, like, but we're not going there. Oh my God, here we go again. So anyways, remember to love yourself, to love everyone. It's important. And have a loving day, and I'll talk to you later if I don't choke to death. Bye.